I'll also tell you something I told President Trump, and I'll tell you as well, is I give him a lot of credit for doing this debate on the terms that were effectively set by Biden. Hosted by CNN in Atlanta without a live audience would be the equivalent of Joe Biden agreeing to do a Fox News hosted debate in Alabama with 3,000 live audience members. So I give Donald Trump a lot of credit for that. If you're going to lead the country, you got to be able to show up, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Yes, same liberals who were excited that this debate would take place on CNN now changed their tone. Chuck Todd says Biden team went out of their way to craft debate environment that helps Trump seems presidential. I don't know. First, take a look at this video with Bimaha trashing liberals like never before. Take a look at this.
I mean, part of it, the left has to own. They are aggressively anti-common sense. The Democrats keep running on this one idea, saying to the American people, you can't possibly think you can do worse than Donald Trump. And they keep saying, yes, we can. Yeah. Yes, we can. And I understand that. I do. I would never vote for Donald Trump. And as I said, I think the Republicans are worse. But yeah, when you know, it's funny when I talk to, you know, my friends around my age, 40, and they are always bitching to me about their kids who are like in their 20s, and they're like super uber woke, and they're driving their parents crazy. And everything is like, you don't get it, Mom. That's old thinking. And I'm like, don't get what? Abolish the police? Tear down statues of Lincoln? Maybe give communism another shot? Get rid of the border patrol? Get rid of capitalism? White supremacy has never been worse? Gender is always just a social construct? It's okay to have penises in the women's swimming pool in women's prisons? Okay, no, it's not that I'm old. It's that your ideas are stupid. And
well, okay, so you're very cantankerous.
When people talk about Trump, that's what they should be talking about. Like, why do people, because a lot of conservatives say to me, what you don't get about Trump is we don't like him either.
Right. Yeah, they just hate the other stuff more.
And I don't understand, I don't blame them, because a lot of it is closer to their own home. Like the things you hate about Trump, democracy, I understand why that's the biggest issue, but a lot of people, it's kind of...
Yes, Bimaha should shut up. I want to know the Republican who went there and said, oh, I hate Trump. If any person can say that, will obviously not be a Republican. Like what I saw recently, this King Zika guy actually went on this show and announced he'll be voting for Biden. Yeah, maybe someone like that can say things this way. Bimaha is a Democrat. We understand. At a certain point, the way he wanted Democrat to act, they are not doing it. Reason you see him, you know, melting down like this. Now going back into this issue of debate, it sparked up a lot of things on social media. Some says, oh, Trump will announce his VP. It might be VP. Some says it will be this. But from all speculations that I've seen, this guy will not be there. I want you to know your thought. Partaking to that.
And the reality is this. The last debate, let's talk about a lot of the things that happened. This is last time around during COVID. There were claims that Biden made that he had no involvement in his son's dealings. We were in an era of social media censorship. We were in an era where the Hunter Biden laptop story was suppressed on the eve of the last election. I hope everybody has learned those lessons of the past to say that, you know what, we're not going the way of censorship this time around. We're not going the way of distorting the information the public gets. This time around, as a country, let's learn from our mistakes of the past. Give the information to the voters so they're able to make their own decisions. And one of the things I really worry about for the country right now, John, is this. I think it's a very real, possible scenario, is that Biden's coming in, you talk about coming in hot, probably going to call Trump a convicted felon. Well, let's play this out. A lot of legal experts believe this is going to be overturned on appeal or by the Supreme Court. And I worry about a scenario where, God forbid, we have another election. If Biden won it by a narrow margin and then the Supreme Court overturns it after the fact, and we know that actually affected the views of voters, I worry about this country. That's even worse than the suppression of the Hunter Biden story on the eve of the last election. So this time, let the voters have the facts, and I hope this country, from the media to the political establishment, has learned the failures of 2020 to do right by Americans this time around.
Yes, according to Democrat, what I see on daily basis, oh, Trump is a convicted, Trump is a threat to democracy. When I saw, a lot of articles being published today, And they realized in swing state, Biden cannot protect democracy. Instead, it favors Trump that he can do.
Was just a very, very good president. I would say a great president, right? And I think when you look at something and you say, look, this guy was successful. He brought freedom. He brought a ton of prosperity to our country, peace on the world stage, right? Like, you didn't have a new war popping up every year. So I just think the results were so good. How could anybody look at it and say, oh, yeah, I was critical of Trump in 2016, but he proved me wrong?
So is a reality TV competition style approach any way to pick a vice president? And what exactly, I mean, I don't even know. I didn't even want to get to that question. But what are they doing?
He's looking for who rates. So what he's going to do is he's going to roll him out in interviews. And he's not looking for skill. He's not looking for even maybe a policy stance. He's looking for who do people, like, where do the largest crowds come? Who do the most people watch? Because that's honestly what he needs. But I think it's merely a you're hired, not you're fired. Like, he's waiting it out.
Right.
He also wants to, I think, continue to have these people working for him as devoted surrogates. So don't name your person. Don't pick them. Just keep them all teased a little.
Well, and it's like The Apprentice. It's basically a reality TV show, but the Veep stakes. But
So they're going to call this the side piece?
Right, the side piece.
Well, what do you think he's looking for in a VP, though?
He's looking for unabashed loyalty and looking for someone who won't outshine him. But
And, you know, you can't refute anything with him because he just, when I say him, I mean...
He rambles.
Trump.
Yeah.
He tends to just...
But can I mention one thing?
Yes, like you have seen here, that is low-class Whoopi trying to speed, mentioning Trump name. It is insane totally. I decided to show you this. I understand you don't watch the show. It is important you see this kind of reactions. If this is appropriate, it is nasty, right? Going into this article, news chief political analyst Chuck Todd accused President Biden team of agreeing to a debate forum that will help former President Trump seems more presidential. Todd joined Chris on MSNBC on Wednesday ahead of CNN Thursday debate, and the political analyst questioned Biden's strategy going into the matchup. They so want to have a different experience than the last debate they had with him, and ironically, it is the single best debate Biden had, Todd said, referring to Trump and Biden debate in October 2020. The former Meet the Press moderator argued the last debate between Biden and Trump cemented the former elite. Trump, he continued, need an instant poll, meaning a live audience for reactions when he speaks. The lack of an audience at Thursday debate will make him always seems more presidential, according to Todd. That is what these guys are putting out. They are worried. Like, Biden putting out these conditions for this debate is not favoring them. It is instead going to Republican side. That is what liberals are thinking. I was glad when this came out, Trump accepted. Like Vivid said there, oh, it was a good decision. If Trump rejected, they'll say, oh, he's afraid, it's like this. So taking that decision to debate on CNN actually tells you he is prepared. He knows what he is doing.